Good. Ready? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and call this regularly scheduled January 27th Commission meeting to order. Before I ask for an approval of the agenda, I do want to add item 9, a city manager discussion, and then we can approve the agenda as it was amended.
So moved.
I have a motion from Commissioner Martin, second from Commissioner Mazon. Any comments or questions on the motion on the floor from the dais? Public comments or questions on the motion on the floor to approve the agenda with the addition of item 9. Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. I'd like to invite Mr. Citizen Tim Martin to the podium to give tonight's invocation. If you would please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, which will directly follow. Mr. Martin, thank you.
Let's bow our heads. Thank you for this day, Lord. We ask your blessings over our meeting. We ask for us to be led as you see fit. Give us the wisdom and discernment. Please bless the sick in our community, and please bless the known and the unknown broken hearts. Our nation, state, community, and city need you. We know to all those present and afar, please make yourself available to heal and celebrate the lives of all of us. We pray for guidance through the narrow gate as needed, Lord. We would rather be right and alone in your eyes than with the masses who are wrong and misguided. We thank you for all of this in your precious Son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Overall.
Thank you for that invocation. Mr. Barton, please take your seat and become Commissioner Barton once again. I'm getting a little back feed up here. I don't know. Has everybody got theirs? It used to happen a long time ago. We haven't had that problem in a while. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so that brings us to our first presentation, updated City Commission on large-scale retail, better known as big box. Lots of community conversation and discussion about big boxes. Tell us where we're at.
So thank you for having me this evening. I just wanted to give everybody an update as to some things that my staff...
Could you introduce yourself for us, just in case
I'm Stacey
we
Hectus.
all know?
Stacey Hectus, the Director of Community Development. Thank you. Do I need one? I'm just kidding.
We're going to have remedial presentation training.
Name, turn it on. So I wanted to thank you for having me this evening. I'm going to just give you a brief verbal update on where we are on the large-scale retail, we're now calling it, instead of the big box, that the connotation that it has kind of a little bit negative sometimes, so we're changing it to large-scale retail. So as you are very well aware, since the comprehensive plan has been sent to the state and we've received our minor comments back, we are well in the throes of looking at the land development code and the rewrite. One of the things as we were looking at the large-scale retail section that we were going to be rewriting for you was we kept referring back to the overlay. We kept going back to the overlay. And as you can see in the memo that I had written to City Manager Mike New in January 20th, actually, I was kind of explaining that we kept going back to the overlay district as how we would be assessing the large-scale retail as it was coming in. So we took a look at our overlay district again, a little deeper, and then we decided that maybe what we should do, so instead of adding additional ordinances to our code, take an ordinance that we already have that's pretty well written, and move forward with that, but adding the large-scale retail in the overlay district. When staff and I were talking, we were thinking to ourselves, what large-scale retail would not go in where our overlay district is? And there's not many. They want that highway frontage. We have really good overlay district guidelines, minus a few tweaks that we would like to make to it. And so our thought was, let's present to the City Commission this option of enhancing our overlay districts to include the large-scale retail within the overlay district section of our code. And so that's where we are tonight. We've taken a look at an additional code and saying, well, maybe we don't need the additional code since we have a really good overlay. So we are looking at some minor things to tweak in the overlay, as well as maybe taking some of the pieces and puzzle pieces that we were talking to you all about earlier with the way the building goes on the property and things like that, and adding that to our existing code. So it's not an additional ordinance, it's an enhancement of an existing ordinance.
Ms. Stacy, can you tell the commission why did staff shoot down the special exception idea? Because kind of my concept was, I don't want to play a game about 49,999, right, versus the 50,000. Let's just make it anything large retail is going to come in as a special exception, because in special exception we can say show the commission renderings, show the commission what it looks like, and then they have the opportunity. I'm sure there was a good reason why that didn't make it to the presentation tonight, but
No, it's still in there. It's going to still be considered a special exception within our overlay district.
so a special exception within the overlay
Yes.
district,
And
with
we're,
even more rigid.
well, and we're going to actually, we were looking at the different numbers, and we were looking at different tiers of sizes. So maybe if you're 20,000 to 40,000, 40,000 to 60,000, 60,000 to 80,000, these are numbers I'm throwing out. We haven't exactly pinpointed the numbers, but giving a range so that different enhancements go to different size buildings. The larger the building, the more enhancements, obviously. We have a really good landscape section to our overlay district, and there's some weaknesses in there. We were thinking of tiering those so that if you were coming in, you would be doing enhanced landscaping. Kind of the larger the building gets, the more enhanced landscaping you'd be doing.
Okay. Commission thoughts? I like that it's a both, not a either or. Like
Yes.
that. Commissioner Cole.
Well, okay, so you're saying right now we have a category that is large-scale retail, is that, we don't?
No, we're going to be taking the large-scale retail parameters that we've already started to draft and add them to our overlay district, because in our mind, we were thinking, where would large-scale retail go that wouldn't be in our overlay area? And we haven't, we have one that we might think might possibly be there, but we have a way to fix that as well.
Okay, because I want it to be as tough as it can.
Okay.
And
No
I mean
taken.
that.
Can you, because I think that there's a lot of that sentiment, but I think it's a two-part tough scale. I think it's aesthetically pleasing, that's the one part, right?
Right.
If you want to build it, it can't look like a warehouse, it's got to look unattractive. But then the other part, which I think is a little bit trickier maybe legally, is it's got to fill a need that we don't have, you know? Like if you told me that, and I know they're not coming, but if you told me Bass Pro that wanted to come, well, we don't really have a fishing, hunting kind of retail, right? If you said it was a big box hardware store, well, we have a hardware store, right? Is that how, am I understanding, when you say I want to be tough, are you talking about both of those fronts?
I'm talking about both of them.
Okay.
Both of them, and also, I mean, some of these towns you go to, and you don't even see the building from the highway. I mean, but, you know, I know other people have other opinions, and so I'll let.
All right. I saw two or three of you about to reach for the mic. Commissioner Clark.
That covered a lot of it. The other thing is, how far out before we get all of this done, Stacy?
So I estimated in my memo to Mike, I estimated we could probably, based on the work we've already done on the existing large scale that we'll be combining into this overlay district, we would probably be able to hone in on it and get it to PZB in March, which means it would be coming to a meeting near you in late March, early April.
Okay.
Other thoughts? And when I talk about meeting a need we don't have, I don't mean it's black and white, right? There can be a scale, right?
Sure.
You're doing something that yes, there are parts and pieces of that are here, but by and large it isn't. That would score really high, or you're doing something that's fully already covered in Newberry, that would score low. And it just goes into the special exception decision-making process holistically. It's not a hard cut either way. It's just part of the conversation for the dais. Commissioner Coleman?
Well, also, I don't want it where the commission is being accused of picking and choosing what we want
Right.
here. I just, when it comes to, I have no experience besides maybe at the property appraiser's office about big box. The big thing is it seems like when it comes to big box, if you could just make it harder, they need to be able to meet some higher criteria than just throwing in whatever y'all said earlier, the warehouse down the road down there. I don't want that.
Well, I'll
I don't
defer.
think my people want that either.
Yeah, I could defer to Scott and ask him. We can't necessarily say we can't have an X, Y, or a Z. What we can do is make the
Award
parameters, yes, such that X, Y, or Z may not fall under under that category without saying we don't want X, Y, or Z. So we think what we have would be a good start, which you all would see, and have a vote on that. And so we can bring that to you and let you see what kind of our ideas are. One of the things that we knew needed to be, while our landscaping is actually pretty good, it doesn't make people spend the extra dollar or design. It lets you pick 10 things, you pick 3 of the 10 things. We want the options there, but we want them tiered so that, okay, you get 2 of these options, 1 of these options, and 1. So we'll see some substantial design look and some substantial landscaping and things like that in these situations.
How'd you do, Scott?
She's spot on here. You're on a real slippery slope with, you can't have a Publix because we've got a Hitchcock's. That's going to be
Right.
a problem.
And that's not what I'm saying. That's why I'm going. That's not I'm talking about. In my mind, I see it kind of like a bid package where you can award some points if you use a lot of local builders, but it's not the deciding making factor, right? It's just part of the conversation.
But I think aesthetics,
Right.
things like that, yeah, absolutely, you can do that.
Okay. Any other, Commissioner Farnsworth?
Yeah, I agree that, we need to make it look good and the aesthetics are important, but I don't want to put so many restrictions on them that we stop businesses from coming here. I think that as far as enhancing our growth and making it more friendly towards all the subdivisions and ranches and everything else that we have approved, that we need to have something for these people to be able to go and do their shopping and stuff. And Publix is just beginning, but I'm sure there are going to be other things coming down the pipe that'll help these people. But I just don't want to make it so restricted that no one says, no, we'll go someplace else.
The great thing is, it's your decision.
Well, and I
And
would
maybe it needs to be
think that-
taken on a
He's tired
base-to-base
of driving
basis.
the chief one everywhere.
I don't think that anybody puts an application at that scale that hasn't done a market survey and knows that people are going to come and use them, right?
Correct.
So they're not going to come here unless they think that Newberry is going to come and support them.
Absolutely.
So I agree with all that. And I've seen big box in small towns, and I've seen them hold on to their small town feel. I know it's possible. I just know it takes a lot of foresight and a lot of work from this body to make that happen. So it's these kinds of conversations. Other, Commissioner Farnsworth? No? Turn it off. No? All right, thank you, ma'am. We
Thank you.
appreciate the update. We'll look forward to that coming back.
Yep, I will bring a combined ordinance back.
All right, number 2, Alachua County Bicentennial Alachua kickoff. I was there. I caught the cold from it.
You did not. I know you hurt your ankle.
Yeah, but that was nothing to the sniffles. You know?
Oh, I
It was a
know.
good day. It was a little wet, a little cold.
Yes.
You know, but yeah, it was fun. And I'm stealing your thunder. Go
No.
ahead. Go ahead.
Nope, we're
I'm
good.
making it sound like it wasn't joyous.
It was.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure, I think we're still on.
There we go. Okay. All right. So on Saturday, January 11th, the Alachua County Bicentennial Kickoff was held, called Alachua 200 Kickoff. So they had invited all of the municipalities in Alachua County, and we, Newberry, were the only municipality to show up.
Stole the show.
Yes. So, and our emphasis that we placed when they had called us to see if we would be interested in going was our agriculture. And so we had a premier board, which I forgot to bring. We should have brought the board and had it for everybody to see. We did an agriculture history of Newberry, all the way from the old style ag to today's Ag Tech Park. And people were very interested in the Ag Tech Park and where it's going and what it's going to be like. And so it was fun to tell people and teach some people some of the background of Ag Tech Park and how we got where we are. The mayor was there and staff from the Community Development Department attended, and we set up our booth there, and we had some giveaways, and lots of wonderful folks stopped by.
Newberry has a lot of fans in Gainesville. People came
Yes.
by and said, man, I see what y'all are doing out there. It is fantastic.
It is. They did. They were very excited. So here's the board that we created in the small version of it. But you can see it goes from the old railway, of course, rail is very important to the history of Newberry, all the way to the Watermelon Festival and the very first Queen, and all the way down to our Ag Tech Park in the bottom corner there. And we had our Ag Tech boards there as well, so people were fascinated, wanting to know where and how that was going to happen. So we were gracious to have them come by.
And Stacy, before you leave, could we maybe get this board for the State of the City? I know that
Sure.
might be coming up sometime
Absolutely.
soon. Maybe have it in a room.
Oh
let
yeah,
people
we
see
have it, absolutely. We can most definitely get it for you. So here are some fun pictures of all of us chilled and freezing. Janine back there, all of us were there. It was windy, chilly, we were on the lake. And then here's a few more. I commandeered my daughter to get some National Junior Honor Society hours. She commandeered her friend. Uma had her daughter there. We had all sorts of good volunteers setting the thing up, and it was awesome. So we were glad to be a part of it, and we have been asked to continue to be a part of Alachua 200. And the next step is they're going to be doing a Matheson Museum display of Alachua's history. And they've asked Newberry to participate. And a piece of the Alachua history happens to be ag. So they would love for Newberry to loan them maybe some artifacts from our Watermelon Festival or some of
I
our
was thinking
historic...
we'd send Commissioner Farnsworth down there, sit in the museum for a little bit.
the living history of
Yeah.
Newberry. So we've already sent them we've got some living history recordings we've sent Mr. Sal there at the Matheson, who's been emailing me, and we're going to be probably getting with Mike to see what are some of the things that we can loan from March, I think it's March through July. It'll be there on display at the Matheson. And so I encourage everybody, if you're interested in at least the ag piece of Alachua history, we might be a part of that if we can get with Mr. Sal and get him some of our artifacts that we have here in Newberry. So we were very happy to be a part of it, and I'm glad that Newberry was there and showed up, unlike the rest of the municipalities in Alachua.
Well, I was very proud of you guys for answering the call and being there. It was a lot of fun. I thought it was a cold day. It was a little bit drizzly, but it
Live
was still
music.
Live music. It was still, Depot Park is a pretty cool park, and it was certainly a proud moment to see that we were the only ones there, and that was all you guys. Y'all invited me. I was happy to come along.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
But it was fun to just talk about what's going on in Newberry and to hear the variety of opinion, because there's people in Jonesville, City of Alachua, Archer, Gainesville, and all of them really just admired our community. So it was a very invigorating day, not just in the cold. So
Yes.
thank you.
Great way to put it.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
You're very welcome.
All right, 2024 Employee of the Year, Years of Service Awards. We wait for this one all night, all year. Fun time.
Very exciting presentation. So each year, towards the end of the year, we recognize employees for excellent in their contributions to the city, and it culminates with an Employee of the Year award. And I'm going to share that with you. We also recognize employees for their years of service with the city. So we'll start with Employee of the Year, and that doesn't look like 20 point to me. So 2 demerits right out of the gate.
You know, I went to Dr. Hedges. I got to get new glasses. And I said I'll always read 9-point font all year long.
For as bad as I ever am about scrambling for a meeting, today I set a world record for scrambling for a meeting. My apologies. So just wanted to identify the nominees. These nominees come from employees that say so-and-so is really doing a tremendous job, and they'll write up a little blurb about them. Never before have we had 12 or 14 nominations. Some years it's been pulling teeth, like please. But this year, our staff, our culture has really been growing, and our staff couldn't wait to point out how many good employees they work around.
I don't know how you pick off of that list.
The department heads sit down together, the leadership team sits down together, we read through all of the nominations, and we jointly decide. And speaking of that, we jointly decided that Tyler Huggins was our 2024 Employee of the Year. Tyler, if you would stand up, I don't have a thing to give you, but a 10-minute speech would be appreciated. So, thank you, Tyler. So, Tyler's been with us a few years. He's kind of heading up our facilities group, and that does give him the built-in advantage to be all over the city. And he has a chance to work with all of our employees on a day-to-day basis, and they all recognized what an asset he is to our city. So we weren't surprised when his nomination came through, and after discussing it with the other 12 very highly thought of candidates, Tyler was this year's. And there's a whole list of items that he gets for being Employee of the Year that include things like you get to come to a city commission meeting on your own time, and the city manager will ask you to stand up and embarrass you. And the rest of them are not quite as nice as that. It's not as prestigious. Thank you, Commissioner Martin. But what a great team we have. And again, when you see the candidates out there, I think way back when the candidates were made, we sent you the list of these and the nominations we got with them. I don't know if you had a chance to go through them, but when you see these folks in the community, in the workplace, congratulate them. They all do fine work, and they're all very deserving. And again, Tyler was this year's, and he is uber deserving.
Well, Tyler, we're not going to let you go without at least embarrassing you with a picture with the mayor and the city manager.
Absolutely.
So before you think, oh, it's time I can slip out the back, we got to get you right here. Right in the center. Yeah, right in the middle.
Let me get on my tiptoes.
1, 2, 3, smile. Come on, Tyler, show your teeth.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
And also our Years of Service Awards. There's some new blood in the city, and so we're not seeing 20 and 30-year awards this year. We recognized people on their 5-year anniversary, so we recognized 3 that have been with us for 5 years: James Albright, Anthony Briner, who that's a combination. He's been with us a couple of times, but really glad he's back. And Sierra in Finance and Administration, and she's well, we're not allowed to.
Yeah.
Sierra's not here tonight.
Yeah.
She's not here
She's got
tonight.
more important things right
Yeah,
now.
she's got other. And then look at the lone guy there, 10 years of service. So
10 years,
Yeah,
Mike.
I know. Isn't
10
that amazing?
years.
Never thought we'd make that, did we?
Woo!
So those
Decade.
were those employee
Yep.
awards, and when you see those folks out in the community, again, please congratulate them. That concludes my presentation, Mr. Mayor.
Good job, Mike. Thank you so much. Tell everybody we appreciate their longevity And 10 years is quite an accomplishment for a city manager as well. So we appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, your commission likes to hear from you frequently and often. We put aside public comments at the beginning of the night so that you can get up and tell us about something that's not on the agenda and not have to wait till the end of the night. If you have something that's a little bit more lengthy, we have another public comment at the end of the night where you have a little bit more time. But if you just want to make an announcement, go ahead, line up, and let us hear from you. Don't be shy.
Hey, no, I'm not shy. You don't have to worry about that. So, how you guys doing this evening?
Wonderful, sir.
My name's Chris Mack. I'm the president of Newberry Main Street Organization.
Killing it.
I appreciate that. First and foremost, I'd like to thank the commission, the mayor, the city staff for all the support that you give Newberry Main Street Organization. We're very grateful for the support. I'm here tonight to talk about our next festival, which is our Blues and Barbecue Festival. It happens to be our biggest festival of the year. I think last year we estimated about 13,000 people came to the city of Newberry on Saturday. Spectacular time we had. But I'm here tonight to lay down a challenge. I have a couple people that have already committed, but I would like to challenge the commissioners. I would like to challenge any city employees to become a judge.
If it's a barbecue eating contest, we're just going to let Tony win right now.
Barbecue contest.
A judge, yes.
You're in. Okay.
There we go.
So I need 5. No, that's hey, I'm not shy. I'll come to you. It's not a problem. So I have 3, possibly 4. I have 4. I need 1 more.
We don't let FSU fans judge barbecue. That's sacrilegious.
I know everybody eats barbecue. So
I'm already in.
Yeah.
Tony's
you got
in.
1, 2, 3.
I was like, probably,
Commissioner Maison,
Tim doesn't eat meat.
Mayor Marlowe, you're at it.
Yeah.
I appreciate the email back.
Commissioner Coleman.
That's fine.
There you go. Look at that.
Thank you.
Look how easy that
Thank you,
was.
Mayor. Thank you,
Yeah.
city staff. I appreciate it.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not
We'll
going to
let
waste any more of your
FSU.
time this evening. I have a few other things for Main Street that I need to complete this evening, so thank you again for all your support.
Thank you.
We truly appreciate it. We cannot do the things that we accomplish without the support of this city. So again, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
We appreciate you.
You guys have a
We
great
can't be the community yard without you. So next in line, come on down.
Hey, everybody. My name is Eli Ott. I am with Happy Homes Construction.
Okay.
We have got an amazing event on January 30th, which is this Thursday, that I just wanted to extend a formal invitation to all city staff, anybody else who wants to go. We sent out some emails.
We did get the email.
I
Yep.
appreciate your response. I got that. Thank you very much. And if you guys can make it, it will be an amazing thing. We're going to be doing some great stuff here in y'all city, and we look forward to meeting you guys. Thank you so much.
And the time and the address are in the email.
Yes, they are.
And say the name of it again, because it came through to us a little bit kind of strange on the form.
It's Happy Homes
Happy
Construction,
Homes.
Happy
So you search
Homes
for that.
Development. Yep.
Are you building off of 46 Ave right now?
We are, yeah. We've got about 32 houses in the ground just outside of Alachua County mainly. We went on a buy-in spree in October, and we hit the ground pretty hard.
All right. Well, one of us will certainly try to make it there.
Yeah, please.
Yep.
I'm in Bonifay after
All right.
morning for the week.
I've got tennis practice until 5, but I'm going to try to shoot over to
I'd
you
like
right
to see
after
you in that outfit, so come on.
Well, the years are wearing on me, but.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Tell everybody where your new
Offices?
Where your office is. It's this absolutely gorgeous
It is.
showroom, and it's just impressive.
Yeah,
It really
it's 7600 5th Place, and that's northwest. It's right off of Tower Road. It was formerly, originally a tech company that built this amazing, 20,000 square foot building. Very, very modern, beautiful place, and that's our campus. We occupy the entire thing, and we have an amazing 10,000 square foot showroom. We really are trying to revolutionize how people get into starter homes, and so we've got a real mission, and we look forward to sharing it with the public.
Thank you. That's
Drew
wonderful.
Absolutely.
Worthman Roofing is
Yeah.
really the founder of this.
Absolutely, that's my business
Really?
partner,
Okay.
and he,
Well, I've had some dealings
yes,
over the years,
absolutely.
mainly on the phone, but yeah.
Yeah, he and I, we started in 2019, and we sold the company basically a year ago, and so this is the springboard to what we really wanted to do.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. Good
Thank
luck
you,
to
guys.
you. We'll do our best. All right. Anyone else? Public announcement? Seeing none, that's going to move us to consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as published? Motion from Commissioner Martin, second from Commissioner Clark. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion passed unanimously. This is going to take us to our first public hearing on ordinances, the first reading of ordinance to amend water and wastewater code. This is new. You're going to work hard on your 10th anniversary here. You're going
Yes, sir.
to lead the charge.
And that statement I made earlier about the biggest scramble of my career, please keep that in mind as we go through what could be a rough presentation. So we have discussed ad nauseum the city's attempts to get funding for a wastewater plant expansion and the curveball that was kind of thrown to us by the lender, which is the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, when they said, hey, you can't have any unsecured extra capacity in that plant. You got to get it secured through some agreements with developers, surety devices, bonds, or whatever. And so we're working through that, and we are pioneering that when, there's about 4 or 5 other cities in the state of Florida that are watching our outcome. And we're going to have success. I'd say we're 95% of the way there, and we're getting really good feedback. And so we will shortly have those agreements finalized and be ready to present them to the commission, get development groups to sign off on them. We had thought that we would have that done in early January, but we also thought that FDP would approve our treatment plant for construction and funding in February. FDP advised us that they don't have the funds to advance us today, and they won't have those funds until August at the earliest. So we're not going to have a public hearing for them and be in a position to advance our wastewater plant before August. Took a little bit of the pressure off. Staff's position is keep going as good as we can so that we are teed up that when the August hearing rolls around, there's no reason for DEP to not approve us. So when we met with them, we discussed with them, though, a complicating factor in all this, that if we essentially promise every gallon of capacity to a development group so that the surety payment, or the payment on that is not risking our ratepayers, then there's no room for a walk-in. The young couple that buys a lot in downtown, they want to connect, and would have to tell them, we'll expand the plant again in 20 years, and that'll be your time to get in. Or, what about, John Deere saying we're going to move corporate headquarters to Newberry, Florida. Sounds great, but we don't have wastewater capacity for it. We have tons of capacity, but 20 years worth of growth is tied up in these development agreements. So DEP said, okay, we see the quandary, and so we started pitching ideas about, well, what if? They don't want our ratepayers to be on the hook if the economy turns south. And so we are putting together these agreements, and we intend to get enough surety so that we can guarantee the revenue stream for at least the first 10 years to make that debt service payment. Aside from that, though, we've proposed language to DEP that they didn't say no to. I won't say they gave us an affirmation, but they didn't say no to. And the agreement is as a backup to the development community, our ratepayers would be on the hook. And you think, well, that's the intention to not happen. To begin with, Mike, so why are we talking about it? And the answer is, well, at the end of the day, all of this does come back to our ratepayers, and the loan agreement that we've executed 4 years ago to start this whole process says it. And the loan agreement we had before that, 10 years before that, says it. Every loan agreement that the city's ever taken out has essentially said the city will raise its rate to make sure they make this debt service payment regardless. So it's implied and it's understood when you take out debt service, but it's not codified in our ordinances. So we took a condition that this commission and all the previous commissions had already agreed to, and we codified it, hoping to check a box and get us across the finish line with DEP as a way to move forward with construction and still have some gallons that are available for development that we didn't know about when we signed the agreement. So that's what ordinance.
And Mike, just for those in the audience that may not be aware of those watching at home, this commission's policy and previous commission's policy and our staff's policy is that developers pay for the initial capital outlay. Our ratepayers pay for operations. They pay for the normal day-to-day stuff. So that's always been, that's what we go toward, that's our goal, that's what we effort towards. So what Mike is talking about right now is a backstop. That's really what it is. It's a backstop. If something bad happens, which that would always be the backstop, which is why it's in all those loan agreements. But that's why there's the difference. Ratepayers pay for operations, developers pay for the initial build.
Yes, sir. Thank you for clarifying that, because I did get out the gate a little bit too early. So recommended motion would be to approve ordinance 2502 on first reading. Now, realizing that you just got ordinance 2502 for first reading about 15 minutes before this meeting started, I transmitted the language that you were going to see, but you hadn't seen the whole thing compiled. If the commission says, Mike, we'd rather think on it and consider this at the next meeting, we're not under any type of time duress that would stop us from doing that. We'd be happy to bring it back at the next meeting. If the commission says this is such a slam dunk that we'd approve it on both readings right here and now, if we were allowed to do that, city attorney wouldn't advise against it, we'll move ahead.
I'd also, this is first reading, so.
This is first reading.
You have seen all this language in parts before tonight. You could say yes tonight, see it together. Commissioner Martin?
Is this the one that we have that's labeled 2433?
Correct. First error out the gate is I changed everything but the ordinance number. So Janine caught that. This is 2025-02 is what it's intended to be. So,
Mr. Mayor, I can read that by title only if you'd like me to.
Please do.
Is that what we were to go ahead and consider on first reading? Please do.
Yes, sir. An ordinance pertaining to the utilities within the city of Newberry, amending Division 2 and Division 3 of Article 6, Chapter 98 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Newberry pertaining to water system development charges and sewer system development charges, repealing all ordinances in conflict, providing an effective date. The appropriate motion is to pass ordinance number 2025-02 upon its first reading by title only.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Martin, sir.
Yeah, I'm happy to make that motion. And with that, it doesn't give me any greater confidence, I guess, in the DEP with this whole scenario, because we're working in parameters, and they want to speculate on this crystal ball for 20 years out. Well, hell, if we knew what was going on 20 years out, we wouldn't need all the securities and everything, because we would know exactly the straight line between here and there.
Yes, sir.
So it just kind of further emphasizes the fact that we're kind of shooting in the dark here, trying to deal with these folks.
Well, and if you're
Respectfully, of course.
You're exactly right. And if the commission takes nothing else away from our wastewater plant expansion process, it's a whole lot less of an exact science than you would think. So we've spent probably $5 million to get to where we are today with planning documents and with a design. And it is based on the best information available to us. But I assure you that Jamie knows this, Dallas is learning this, that nothing is set in concrete, that we know a lot about it. There's a little bit of risk involved moving forward, and things likely will be somewhat dynamic moving forward. But, cities just like us face those challenges every day, and they keep making debt service payment. And I have every expectation that Newberry will as well.
Commissioner Coleman and then Commissioner Farnsworth.
Are we still on a time frame that all this has to be done?
Yes, sir. We still have
Do you know what that time frame is?
Absolutely. It's April of 2026. August of 2026, our plant has to be online and operational. And if you're mentally doing the math, it's impossible for us to meet that time frame. But today, if we started construction today, we wouldn't make it.
You got to do it, but we're not going to help you do it.
Correct, and we had that conversation, and I assure you, FDEP staff is empathetic, and we all know that once we get approved for funding, that we're going to go back to the FDEP group that gave us the time frame, and we're going to ask for an extension, and we're going to get it, because they look at us and say, you're doing everything right, just by the book, you're the leader in the state, and of course we're going to extend the time frame, but it's a process. You got to check the boxes as you go, and that's exactly what we're doing.
think they're using Newberry as a test dummy as well. They've written all the rules in the book, and now they're going to see if anybody can live up to the rules, because we're following every rule. And here's where we're at. Yeah.
The key word in your phrase is dummy, and I agree with you right here.
Commissioner Farnsworth.
Mike, if this funding falls through, can we go to the private sector for funding?
We sure can. The difference in interest rate is tremendous. We're getting about a 0.8% interest rate from the state of Florida. If we go get commercial paper, it's a 4% interest rate. That's worth millions of dollars to our ratepayers or our connectors as we move forward. DEP also does things like loan forgiveness. They look at your grant eligibility and they just say, I don't know the exact formula, but they tell communities the first 10 million you don't even have to pay back. Never met a bank that would say that. So we're fairly married to them if we can withstand the pain of, well, there's a whole lot of process and you will have to spend about $5 million on the front end to get in there, but there's some real benefit. They're pulling for us. They're just putting a lot of requirements on us.
Is the main difference when you hear developers or builders come say, well, I'll just build it myself. And you say, well, you can barely make the numbers work with a 1% interest. If it's a 4% interest, good luck, right? Any other questions? We do. Did I, second from Commissioner Coleman? Did he already do that, or did we just get it? I know I had the motion. Second from Commissioner Coleman. All right, any comments, questions, motion on the floor from the dais?
Mr. Mayor, there's the new language in italics. that
All right.
we're inserting to our code of ordinances, again, straight out of the loan agreement that we have with FDEP.
This is first reading. Everybody will read all the different parts together, and we'll be ready on the second reading. If we have any adjustments, amendments, please communicate that with the manager beforehand. Public comments, question on the motion on the floor.
Surprised there wasn't a rush.
Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Item 7 is a resolution for Avalon Woods.
Thank you,
Mr.
Mr.
Attorney, would you please go ahead and read Resolution 2025-04/SD24-13 into the record while Ms. Inwood makes her way?
Yes, sir. This is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Newberry, Florida, approving with appropriate conditions and safeguards the final plat for Avalon Woods Phase 4B. Parcel number is 01874-001-000 as authorized under Section 4.19 of the City of Newberry Land Development Regulations in a mixed-use MU zoning district on certain lands within the corporate limits of the City of Newberry, Florida, repealing all resolutions in conflict, providing an effective date. The appropriate motion is pass resolution number 2025-04 at the appropriate time.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Newman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everybody. I'm Uma Sarmishta, Department of Community Development. I'm reading Resolution 2025-04 SD 2413. This is a final plat approval for Avalon Wood Phase 4B. So the recommended motion is approve Resolution 2025-04 SD 2413. Just to give you an overview, it is requested by JB Pro, the agent for M3 Newberry LLC. Partial number is 01874-001-000. Petition is for the approval of final plat for Phase 4B of
Hang on one second,
Avalon.
Ms. Newman.
Yes.
I think Commissioner Coleman found a typo.
01897-00.
I can't read it. What is it, 8-point font? What are we at now? 8. I got 9-7 and it's 874 up there. So we didn't recognize that Scrivener's error.
Yes, I'm so
Is
sorry.
anything else? Is that the right one or the one that's in the?
01874-001-000 is the right one.
So the what's up there is wrong, but what's in the what's published was correct.
It's correct, yes.
Okay, all right.
Sorry
Continue
about
on.
that. Okay.
Try 10-point font next time.
Definitely.
Easier on the eyes.
The petition is for approval for final plat for Phase 4B Avalon Wood mixed-use development. There will be 89 single-family units. It is on 12.26 acres. It's very small delineation, but we have already approved the preliminary plat and construction plan by this board, so there are 89 lots more coming in there. Phase 4 has been divided into 2 phases. The first phase of 4 was approved in October of 2024, and this is the second phase of Avalon Road Phase 4. So final plat was reviewed by Cities DART Board and the EDA consultancy, and that the applicant were shared with the comments, and they were able to get all the comments straightened up. Road name were assigned, school congruency was completed. Surety bond is ready to be signed by mayor before the approval of the final plat. It's in mayor's signature copy place. However, the final submission is approved with an advisory comment that the city of Newberry required execution of its standard easement document with an accompanying sketch and legal description of all POEs dedicated to the city of Newberry in addition to the dedication on the plat. The city of Newberry will not provide a letter of acceptance for improvement until the standard easement documentation is executed and recorded. So with that, staff finds the petition consistent with the City of Newberry Comprehensive Plan and Land Development Regulation and Ordinance 2021-26, which was the first Avalon Word Development Ordinance. And thus, city staff recommend approval of Resolution 2025-04, SD 2413. I am here for any question, and we have the developer here, Mr. Dave, for any question.
Okay. I have a motion from Commissioner Martin. Second from Commissioner Farnsworth. Question from Commissioner Coleman.
84 lots on 12 acres?
89 lots.
89? What are we doing, packing them on top of each other?
What's the acreage?
Yeah, what is the lot size?
I'm assuming they've got their stormwater in other parts, they've got their utilities in other parts.
Yes, it's since it's the overall 4 has been divided into 2 different phases. So part of it has bigger lot, part of it has smaller lot. So that's how they have dedicated their total 3 unit per acre lot.
What's the average lot size back here?
It's
Do
not
you
on
know?
top of my mind, but Mr. Dave, do you have an answer for that?
This is the affordable starter housing section
Yes,
of Avalon
yes.
Woods, right there.
Packing them in like cordwood, ain't we?
I'm David McDaniel, M3 Development. Thanks for hearing us. First of all, with regard to the density, all of the open space, the roads and all that sort of thing, well, the open space and the ponds are off of this particular phase. You can see actually all the ponds have been built in this development. The lot sizes range from 60 feet for the large, 60 foot by 120 feet on the large size. We have 50 by 110s, and then we have 40 by 110s. And so I don't know about the average, but in the end of the day, as we have been doing since we started, is providing the housing for the average guy who's not been able to buy a home in the rest of Alachua County because they have such strict restrictions and make it hell on developers. So we've been delivering to folks. I keep meeting people in the course of my involvement in the Gainesville area who live in Avalon because that's where they can afford a house. And these are people who are, bank tellers all the way to the cadre at my daughter's ROTC battalion. So it's been quite a success, and we're grateful for it.
Other questions? None. I have a motion seconded. The motion was made by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner Farnsworth. Comments or questions on the motion on the floor from the public? And none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion passed unanimously. Thank you so much. Before we move on, I just have to relate. I had a great story that kind of involves what Mr. McDaniel just said. I want y'all to hear this because Monty's going to like this story. But we just approved a development in Newberry for a doctor, and he said he got it priced out for Jonesville. And if he had done what he was going to do at Newberry and Jonesville, the cost was $1.3 million. And he's able to do it here for less than half of that. And a lot of that is attributed to skyrocketing regulations, skyrocketing costs, right? And you guys have been able to give direction to these guys that have kept those costs down. So I thought I'd pass that on to you because I think it's important for you guys to hear those kind of stories as well. That's going to move us to item 8, reappointment of planning and zoning board members for a 1-year extension to expire April 26th. We're working you hard tonight, Miss Stacy.
Hi, I don't,
But you got to introduce yourself all over again.
I do. As soon as I get my item up here, there we go. Good evening again. I'm Stacy Hectus, the Director of Community Development, and I'm bringing an item forward this evening. I'm sure you've got the memo that was included in the packet, but it was brought to my attention in November that 3 of our existing Planning and Zoning Board members had their terms had expired. They had not expired, but their terms had expired in April. And so I made sure I made the right, the one them thing, yes. So we took a look at it and said at that juncture in November, let's see, so we don't have them all flipping at the same time. You can't have all 5. April of 2025 coming up, we have 2 coming up for reappointment or new people coming on. So we went ahead and asked the folks that were already on the Planning and Zoning Board if they would be amenable to extending for 1 more year, which would bring their term through to 2026, April of 2026. All 3 of them, that would be Mr. Donald Long, Miss Ann Polo, and Miss Kathy Thomas, have agreed. So tonight, one of the things that we're here to discuss is just that. And so we would like, if the board is amenable to it, to reappoint them just for the 1 year to extend. And then I will bring back the following meeting probably, once you make a decision on the new appointments for April of 2025. And in the April of 2025 scenario, we have folks that made application, which was Naeem Urchard and Jessica Carey and Miss Tiffany Castle. And Miss Melina Parker is already an existing member and was not aware that she needed to reapply. So you don't have her application in front of you, but she is very interested in staying on. So for tonight, we would need to approve the extension, which is the resolution in the packet. And next meeting, once you decide about the 4 that are options, we will bring that back as the next resolution. So we'll have those through. And then I'll bring it back for a 3rd meeting, the HARB folks, the Historic Architectural Board folks. I apologize, this would normally not happen in this standard.
The extension, I don't have a question about that. That was, we had a transition of employees, but the new appointments usually follow the election, so the newly elected board. And what I thought I just heard you said was this board would decide that at the next meeting. Did I hear that incorrectly?
I did, but I was not aware that it would be after the election.
It's always after the election because the P and Z seats follow different commissioner seats. So there'll be an election, and then the newly elected board, which may be these same 5 people, they would appoint. Now, this board can change that, but that's the way we've done it in the past, is it follows the seat. So we have an election, then we appoint.
Not a problem. I'll just bring it back later in April.
We'll do the extension. That needs to happen now.
Yes,
I get
thank
that.
you.
Right.
Yep.
And then you can still look at all the applications.
Absolutely,
And
yes.
get ready. But,
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any questions? Everybody good? Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
So do you need to read the
Do you
resolution?
need-
Yep.
You need a motion for the reappointment. Yes. Do I have a motion?
But,
Wait.
Mr. Mayor, I'll go ahead and read the resolution by title only, if you'd like me to.
Do y'all have a resolution? I didn't get a resolution.
I've got it in my packet.
You've got it?
I do.
Okay. Well, if you've got it, then read it to all of us.
And I have a copy here if you need it.
This is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Newberry, Florida, appointing members of the Planning and Zoning Board of the City of Newberry, Florida, establishing calendar year appointment terms, repealing all resolutions in conflict, and providing an effective date. The members that are extending their terms are Jordan Marlowe, our mayor, and non-official ex officio commission representative, serves in conjunction with his commission term. Donald Long, his term will end April 30th, 2026, and Polo again, April 30th, 2026, and Catherine Thomas, April 30th, 2026 is the end of her term. Appropriate motion is passed Resolution 2025-05 upon its reading by title only.
Okay, do I have that motion?
Motion.
Motion from Commissioner Mazon, second from Commissioner Martin. Comments, questions on the motion on the floor from the dais? Public comments or questions on the motion on the floor? Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. That moves us on to item
Thank you.
9. Mr. Manager? 1 second. Commissioner Mazon, if you've got a dad joke for tonight, just,
Ketchup used to be a medicine. You know that?
who did?
You did?
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to introduce the item. My understanding is that the commission was going to have a conversation about interim city managers. So I guess last item, I didn't introduce what I was talking about and left confusion. Mr. Manager, the commission is aware I've submitted my resignation, and this is the first meeting since I submitted that resignation, and I believe there is some work to be done in terms of direction for staff, which, could be things like, go kind of survey and see what the going rate for salary is and work on the job description because we may want to tweak it here. And kind of see what the market is for city managers. That may be something. If the commission wishes to appoint someone on the interim, they may direct the staff and the city attorney to work together to develop a contract for an interim city manager. And so we thought that it might be a discussion item for tonight, as I'd sent in an earlier email today. If the commission is not prepared to have those conversations, we'll make it an item for discussion at the next city commission meeting. I got a feeling that it will be a subsequent conversation because things that require staff research are things that the staff will have to bring back to the commission for consideration and then direction. But if the commission would like to have a conversation about interim and go get data for us, I think now would be the appropriate time to do that.
Well, I was a little confused. I thought you just wanted to have the opportunity to talk to the public and say that for yourself. And I know the commission would certainly love the opportunity to tell you how much we appreciate you and what you've done. We understand your decision and those kinds of things, and we certainly respect it, but we also respect the 10 years you've given to the city of Newberry, and I'm sure that we will plan a more appropriate moment to express that gratitude to you. I do think that we do have some of those conversations that we need to have. Newberry is blessed with 2 extremely strong assistant city managers. But Newberry is also in the middle of a whole lot of complex projects right now. And those assistant city managers are perfectly placed right where they're at. So I think that we would probably like staff to begin all of those things, begin to figure out some market baselines. I think we probably do need an interim contract, broad strokes draft for next commission meeting. I don't know where the commission is on this. I mean, this is relatively new information for all of us. So we do have some scrambling that we have to figure out. How do we make sure we don't drop the ball on the wastewater? Dallas is the savior of Archer as well as the city of Newberry right now. We don't want to take him away from them or from where he's at right now. I know that we had an employee that just left us to the county. We might be able to reach out. I don't know if there's a willingness for that person to come back or not. But I know that Travis Parker was engaged in City Hall, was engaged in 15th. I don't know. I could certainly have that conversation if the commission directs me to. Commissioner Clark.
It is a complex time. And I will say thank you, Mike. And, but I also don't know where we are. There's been some billets that need to be filled under Mike's tenure. I don't know if they're all filled, but I would say that if anything ain't filled that's in a position where Mike or a city manager would be hiring, I think we ought to give the next person that opportunity to fill those billets. I don't know what we have open or not, Mike. If there's anything big, though, I would say we put those on hold so our next city manager can do those things or fill billets. Like I said, I don't know where we are.
Our senior leadership team is.
Everything's up?
Mhm.
Okay, so we don't have any big billets to fill or not fill. And as far as I'm concerned, you can reach out to whoever you need to reach out to on my part. But we do need to be looking, because if we don't find someone, then, and Mike leaves in whatever the amount of time we've given us, then we have two managers that we could do like when something else went wrong in the city, and we will continue to roll until we get one, and then until we find an interim. So that's my take on it.
I so much appreciate the stability that you brought. It's rare in this business. 10 years is a long time to make it. We're heading towards 11? Heading towards 11. See, you're making me feel old now.
Yeah, he does.
Right? I remember I was a commissioner when you were hired, and you guys specifically said, we don't want somebody with 20 years of managerial experience that we got to untrain bad habits. We want someone young and hungry to go out there. So I think everything that the manager said, we need to do that kind of research and start that process. So when we come back, we do have some draft documents that we can work with. I think it's a good idea to think about, who's out there for an interim basis so that we can steer. And I think that no matter what happens, we've got both Jamie and Dallas that can step in, either one of them, and be an interim basis until we have a longer process. So Newberry is blessed with talent, and a lot of that is your succession planning, and so we appreciate that as well. Any other things that we need to direct staff do tonight, Commissioner Martin? No. Anything, anybody else want to make a comment? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not going to embarrass the manager, but we are going to have something where we recognize 10 years of service and all the great things that Newberry has done under his leadership. Commissioner Martin.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. You've shepherded a great team. You put together a great team over the last 10 years. I know this is not an easy decision for you to make, but seasons happen in life, and we're going to turn a page here. Newberry couldn't be a more exciting place to be here, and that's a testament to you and your team. So I would wear it on your chest with a big, huge medal. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Commissioner Coleman.
Yeah, Mike, I just want to apologize for all the pre-COVID antics from Commissioner Coleman in the last 10 years. I hope you did see that COVID did change my attitude quite a bit. And, man, it was a shock when you called me to let me know. I don't have much to say here. You heard what I said. So.
Meetings have gotten too boring, Commissioner Coleman. I couldn't stand the boredom. I'm teasing. Thank you.
All right. Dallas, do you need anything that you think you're our assistant manager, CFO, and HR, any direction that we didn't give that should have been included? Think we hit? Commissioner Farnsworth, were you reaching? Did I cut you off? No? Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. We do appreciate you. And that's going to take us to comments. Citizen comment first. We'd like to hear from you guys. If you're waiting for this evening to talk to us about anything, come on down.
Matt McElhaney, and I was told to move my boat out my driveway.
Oh.
And
pull it up a little bit. Yeah. There you go.
So I was told that my boat violates code in my driveway. So I thought I'd do the fun thing and put a plan on it. And it got attention countrywide. It went viral. But apparently that didn't work. And I was told that Greta was proactive, patrolling, and she saw it. But you said that she doesn't do proactive and only do call-ins. But the records show that's a lie. So what's going on with this situation? Because she was proactive, and according to you, she's not supposed to do that.
This is public comment, so we can have a back and forth after the meeting's over, but I don't want to take your time under public comment to do Q&A.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We can do it right now. Okay.
I don't know the answer to that. I know what the board's policy is.
Are you her boss?
I am that person's
All of
boss. Right.
Okay, so does she,
It's not a Q&A, sir, so you can have your public comment, and we can talk offline and figure it out, but I can't go back and forth with you right here. I don't have
well,
records.
I got a solution for it anyway, so it's gonna be in my driveway, but I got a solution for it. There's always loopholes. Tomac out.
Thank you, sir. Other public comment? Okay, seeing none. City manager?
Mayor, we had indicated to the commission that we were going to be talking about the transportation plan on State Road 26 tonight. And ran into a bit of an issue with a consultant traffic engineer that DOT transmitted to the commission their proposed plan for State Road 26. It doesn't allow some left-hand turns that are concerning. Back to discuss that, we'll have some transportation expertise that can speak to the whys and why nots, why would DOT come to those conclusions, and is there anything? I'm so sorry.
Start
Thank you,
all over
Don.
again.
I'll start
All right,
over.
Stacy, that's it. You don't have to do the retraining again. But it's on me too. I didn't see, speaking this way, it sounds perfectly fine.
Yeah, I was speaking as loud as I could. So, but we'll bring that back for discussion in February. Mr.
Like you're saying that DOT is telling us that we can't use a left-hand turn lane on 26? Is that what you?
That is the conclusion that they've come to. They believe it impedes traffic, that they're trying to get through the city of Newberry too much. And so they're not approving the plans that were submitted that allow people to left-hand turn. Say, if you're westbound on State Road 26 and you want to turn south into the Highland Park development, left-hand turning movement wouldn't be allowed. You'd have to go pass through the intersection, do a U-turn, and come back.
Don't try to make it make sense. We're
I
not
was
smart.
going to say, this is absolutely no sense, but anyway.
The transportation engineers
Yeah.
can tell you the whys and the wherefores behind it, and, we have those plans. We can shepherd a conversation
Yeah.
if elected officials want to meet
I just want to be
individually.
sure I heard you clearly.
You sure did.
So our red light, they're going to take our turn lane out going to Archer?
No, sir, they're not planning to do
Oh, they're not
that.
going
I'm
to take
talking about
that?
future
Oh,
traffic
we can only
signals.
do it, okay, I got it.
Future traffic signals. Mr. Mayor, I'm excited to report that we are fully staffed in our building department. We have a team of 4 there. We're fully staffed as of today. Have a new building official who's joining 3 others that we've seated in the last 6 weeks. Top-notch team. Really excited about where they're going to go with Stacy's leadership. And so I think that our commission is used to hearing accolades from our building department. I think that our commission better get prepared for a little bit more of that.
I love it. Before you move on, Mike, I just want to take, we had a resident, I don't think it was a resident, but we had someone stand up here and said, Newberry's about to implode. And we said, Newberry doesn't implode. And here we are, a few short weeks later, and Newberry didn't implode. Everybody got their inspections on time. Everybody's still on schedule. Everything ran just the way we said that it would, because we don't fail in Newberry. We just keep on going. Keep on going, Mr. New.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, you all got a very large stack that we didn't review tonight. That was just.
We reviewed it.
Yeah, you have before. I've shared it with
Yeah.
the commission before. So I was getting it back out. It's been a couple of years since we shared this, but this is generally how road transfers work between government entities. We can't push our roads on anybody else, but nor can the state or the county push their roads on us. The reason I had these printed and got them for the commission to be reviewing is that we have made a proposal to Alachua County. It's not a new proposal. The city manager didn't get out there on a limb with a new proposal, but it's an updated proposal with a couple new wrinkles that I think is even better than the one we made 4 or 5 years ago to the county to improve Southwest 15th and make it a collector road. Because we have 2 developments now, 2 large developments that are in a planning process that are going to have traffic impacts on 15th. And unless 15th It, at its current right-of-way width, will not sustain that traffic. With the current road surface, it will not sustain that traffic. If those developments want to get approved, it's going to require that those roads get some serious right-of-way acquisition and road improvements. So we've made a pitch that essentially looks like the two developments would pay roughly 1/3 of a $11 million price tag to improve a lot of roads in our southeast corridor. The city would pay 1/3 through transportation impact fees, and we propose that the county would pay roughly 1/3. So I'll share details of that with you in an upcoming city commission meeting, and just tell you that the county is contemplating that. So, if it's going to happen, there'll be an interlocal agreement some months out. We'll have to get development agreements. But it's a good proposal based on direction given by the commission some years ago. The stars have just aligned to make it a better proposal today. My sincere appreciation to the commission and the staff. As you all know, I lost my mother a week or so ago, and the emotional outpouring support associated with that has been a little bit overwhelming. I would tell you that we had just a fabulous service for her, celebration of her life last week, and I appreciate all of you that reached out and with encouraging words. Mr. Mayor, we had a fantastic Martin Luther King celebration event in the Miss Mentally Norfleet Municipal Building a week ago today. It started with a walk from the MLK Center over here. We had a nice lunch. Our guest speaker was Pastor David Green Jr., who had a really optimistic message that I think was really well received by those in attendance. Our facilities team and our rec team that kind of put the event together, outstanding job. Everyone that attended walked away with a, wow, you guys are really good at this. And I'd have to say I was just watching it all happen, I would agree with those assessments. Mr. Mayor, I'll be out of the office, but on duty tomorrow. I'm traveling to Lake City for a water symposium. And my homework assignment from that is to come back and tell you all the latest, greatest regulation that is coming down the pipeline for small cities like Newberry, Florida. So I just can't wait to get the word and share it with you all, that breath of optimism that y'all come to get used to from me. Mr. Mayor, we're also conducting a neighborhood meeting with residents associated with the Westone. They're next door neighbors to Westone Development. We'll be hosting them here at City Hall, but we're just, it's one of those things that come up when developments happen next to existing residential areas. We're just trying to provide a meeting space and help answer some questions so that people are comfortable that they understand what's coming down the pipes. And finally, Mr. Mayor, I think this is my last comment. There's a Newberry Notables event that the Chamber puts on annually. This year's event is going to be on Saturday, February the 1st at Capricious this year. So in past years, it's been at Clark Plantation, but this year it's going to be at Capricious. The City Commission will get tickets for the event. We hope you can all attend. It begins at 5 p.m. and ends at 9. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That concludes my comments.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. Mr. Attorney? Thank you. Madam Clerk? Thank you, ma'am. Commissioner Coleman? No? Commissioner Clark?
As always, God bless America and keep our troops that are deployed in your prayers. There's a lot going on right now.
Thank you. Commissioner Farnsworth?
Nothing but
Oh, yeah, I will bring that back. That's
You should.
Well, yeah. The Veterans Memorial, we were a little bit shy, and as most of you know, we went ahead and went forward knowing that we were going to raise the money. And Debbie Boyd and the team that we have put together went out and solicited correct me, Michael, that was the North Florida Community
Foundation.
Okay. And went to them, and lo and behold, a sponsor came up and finished out a $90,000 that we were shy.
Nice.
And wrote the check to the city of Newberry. So thanks to Debbie Boyd and that team, and that went and done that.
90,000.
90,000.
Look at that.
So we had some big ones this year.
Never bet against Newberry.
We really, yeah.
We did.
Never.
Commissioner Farnsworth?
Speaking of the Veterans Memorial, this has nothing to do with it. Mr. Mayor, only one woman has been featured on American paper currency. Do you know who that woman is?
Sacagawea was on the coin.
That was a paper currency.
Paper currency. You did say paper currency. Well, it was Lady Liberty on the old. Was it a real woman or a fictional woman?
Real woman.
Real woman. All right, tell me who.
Martha Washington is on.
Martha what? What bill was she on?
Some.
You have one of those bills?
$1, no. $1, $5, $10. One of those bills.
He probably dated her for crying out loud.
Commissioner Martin, how do you follow that?
I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Tony? I'll follow it. I don't know how you feel with the abuse, man. All right, so like Mike said, yeah, MLK was nice. The city did a phenomenal job. Staff did great. MLK is going to be hosting Zumba classes started today, as a matter of fact, from 6:30 till 7:30, so it'll be an hour long. So if you want to get your Zumba on, MLK, yeah, I know you're interested. I heard you. And then Mr. Max said earlier, Barbecue Blues is going to be held downtown festival. That's going to be starting at 9 a.m. February 20th. That's right. There you go. Just to get it all down. Yep, February 22nd. Yes, starting at 9 till 4. And then I do have a April showers bring me flowers. What does May flowers bring? Hey! Pilgrims.
Yeah, that's a Jeopardy question, right?
You like that, huh?
Wow, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Mike, I wasn't gonna mention anything publicly, but you brought it up, so I did just want to offer again my condolences for your mother. I always love celebration of life, but it doesn't make it any harder. So anything you need, I know you're anything you need, we're here for you. I just want to say publicly thank you to men and women of ASO and FHP and our fire department. Last night I got a small little taste of what they do every single day, and I don't know how you guys do it because, it was nerve-wracking. But I do appreciate you guys tremendously. Anybody get an update on any of their district games tonight? Are they all, anybody done? Anybody? We have both our soccer and basketball, boys and girls, are advancing quite splendidly up the ranks. Did you get anything? Nobody? No? We'll find out here. I'm sure it'll be all over Facebook soon. So
I do have one question.
Go back to Commissioner Martin.
I saw a really nice shiny truck over at the fire department.
Oh, yeah.
And we scheduled to push in, correct?
Well,
Or
I continue to learn after 10 and a half, almost 11 years, I continue to learn that accessory apparatus like a brush truck don't do push-in events like main engines do. Don't ask me why, but
I need a secret Dakota ring for the fire department.
Thank you.
Well, that doesn't mean we can't do one just because. Right?
It is attending the February 10th City Commission meeting. It'll be curbside with strobe lights and everything all on it. We'll also be introducing our new deputy fire chief that night. So
and we can push it back to the fire department after that meeting if we want to.
And for those of you with experience with the Rio, you'll be used to pushing it back to where it started from.
So we're just going to do something over there and then come here? Or
we're gonna show it nice and shiny, and right now we don't have a public event planned, but that may change after the February 10th meeting.
Park it right out there on the street for a day.
Yeah.
That's what we're
I
planning.
don't know. I parked on the street, and that's how I lost my Jeep. So I don't know about
on the grass.
I asked them to do that, and they said it's pretty heavy. It's going to rut it up.
Yeah.
Said that will not be my problem. Go for it. No, I didn't say that.
Check your emails, guys, because you should have an invitation for your videos from the Vivid company. So if you see that one, look at that. They need your schedules. I think they gave you a 2-day window of options. you can work it out with them.
I scheduled mine for the 5th already.
Okay, so just look for that, but answer that email. So look for it. It will either come from Crystal Rushing, or it will come straight from Vivid.
From Crystal.
Right?
Yeah, it came from Crystal.
Came from Crystal. So
Do we, our scripts, et cetera, do they need to have them before recording?
they would love to have it ahead of time because they're going to try to have pictures and stuff for each of your segments. So have the script ready. If you can get it to them a couple of days before, great. And I'll do the same thing, right? It's been a while since we talked about 337. 337 is never far off of anyone in Newberry's brain. I live on 337. I know we just saw it had a crash on 337. 337 is not engineered to any current standard. It's not a legal road. The county knows it's not a legal road. The county knows it's in disrepair, and the county knows that we've had more fatalities on those two curves per capita than any other road in Alachua County. And I'm making a plea to Alachua County. I know that they are planning on addressing half of it somewhere in 2030 to 2031. I don't know if that's when they'll start engineering or if that's when they plan to start construction. But 337 is a deadly road. Until that time, ladies and gentlemen, I just ask you to, the curves are 45 miles an hour, and I think that those are curves that need probably 40. The sides of the road are broken. There's big potholes. It's not banked. There's lots of farm equipment. It's still a very agricultural area of Newberry. So if you're on 337, if there's any poor conditions, take it at 30. It's a few seconds longer and you get home alive, and your family would appreciate that. That concludes my comments. Go Panthers. Have a great night, everybody. Wait. If you're here for a patch for Boy Scouts, I think you have to actually go to the podium and at least introduce yourself to earn the patch.
All right.
So in the city of Newberry, we do things differently. So come on down and tell us, young man, your name and why you joined us here tonight. Did you make sure the light's green on there?
It's green.
All right.
I am Evan Campbell. I live in Gainesville, Florida. I came here to earn a merit badge for my life, right? Get life scout requirement. And I chose the city council meeting for it, so.
And you chose Newberry City Council over Gainesville City Council because we're cooler.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes! Perfect answer. Good job, young man. Well done. I hope you get that badge. All right. Good job. We are adjourned.